welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to go over how I was able to make my candles kind of look like they had flowers on top and little succulents. I'm going to go over step by step how I did this. I did use a few items from HTV Runt that they had sent me in the mail, so I'm going to go over those as well. If you're new to my channel, my name is Kayla. I make videos all about concrete, candles, and crafts. So if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the new videos I post in the future. So I'm just going to go over a couple of the boxes first, and then we'll get into the step-by-step and I'll show you how I made this. Alright, so the candle die that I used from HTV Runt, it's going to be this candle die here. I will link everything in the description box below. But it came in a lot of different colors because I wanted to do the little succulents and flowers on my candle in different colors. So like this one's red, there's green, purple, blue, yellow, black, everything you could possibly think of, lilac. They have 24 different colors in here. So it's a lot of them, and I'll show a little bit more about this later in the video. The other box that I used is this candle making kit from HTV Runt. And we'll go over a little bit more of what's inside of here. It has everything from dye blocks, fragrances, the soy wax, it has the tins, the wicks, thermometer, stirring sticks, it has a user manual, warning labels, really everything you need to make a candle. So today I'm going to make a tin candle, use one of the tins and put some flowers on top. And then I'm also going to use the concrete containers that I personally make, and I'm going to put some flowers on top as well. I will link in the description box below how I was able to make my concrete container, so that way I have a video on that, so that way if you want to see how to do that too, you know where to find it. Alright, let's go ahead and jump into the video. I'm going to show you what's in the boxes, and then I will go over step by step of how I got these little flowers. Alright, so we're going to go through what is included in this beginner's candle making kit. This is perfect for anyone starting. It literally has everything you need. So we're going to be using a lot out of this box. Alright, so first you're going to need a thermometer. This is a perfect one to use, and it comes in the kit, so you don't have to worry about that. And then you'll need a pitcher. I absolutely love pitchers. You're going to need a lot of them if you start making candles, so having a really nice durable one to start with, this is perfect. And then you also have warning labels that you can put at the bottom of your candles. You'll definitely want to have some kind of warning on the bottom of your candles. And then, alright, in this bag you're going to have everything you need for your wicks. So you have your wick stickers and then your wicks with the tabs on them, which is very helpful. And then you're also going to have your color dye blocks. We will be using the different liquid color from HTV Runt, but these blocks work awesome as well. And then you have your popsicle sticks, and I'll go over what we'll use that for in a little bit. And then these are the tins. They're about 6 ounces, so it's a good amount of wax to get you started. And they have a lid, which is very helpful too. And then these are the fragrances they have in here. They're actually essential oils, which I love. They have lavender, sandalwood. They have a few different options in here. For this video, we are going to be using the lavender, but they have 4 different options for you. And then this is the soy wax that they have in there. So this will definitely get you all 4 of those containers, and then maybe a little bit more. And this is the user manual, just in case you'd like to have a step-by-step instruction. So now we're going to be using this candle die from HTV Runt, and again, I'll have all these links in the description box below. There's a lot of colors to choose from blues, greens, pink, red, black, yellow, and different shades of each of those colors too. So there's 24 different colors. for today, we're gonna be using more of a green color, and then we're gonna be using the red as well. So as you can see, there's like purple, just a ton of options here. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and wick our containers. This is my concrete container I made. If you wanna know how to make these, I will have a link to a video below. But we're gonna do the tin and my container. So this is how I do my wicks. These are the tabs at the end of the wick, and I save my leftover wicks to make a second wick instead of just throwing them away. So I will show you how I do this. I use needle nose pliers to help the wick stay in place. So we're going to be using the wick stickers from the kit. I've used them before and they are awesome. They stick really well. Never had an issue with them coming up. So what you're going to do, you're going to grab 3 of these tabs, and you can purchase these without the wick on them. You just slide the wick through, put your wick sticker on the back, and then use your pliers and just squeeze the top so the wick can't come out. And then you have a new wick without throwing it away. So I'm gonna do that on these next 2, and then that way we have 3 wicks. I put 3 wicks in this oval container. All right, so then you're gonna peel the sticker off the back, and you're just gonna put, so when you're doing 3, I put 1 in the middle first, just so I can center everything. And then I put the other 2 on the sides and just line them up, I guess you could say vertically. And then once you have those in, you'll have a nice line of wicks. All right, so now we're going to wick the tin, and we're gonna use the wicks from the kit, and they work perfect with this size. So this one already has the tab on the wick, so all you need to do is put the wick sticker on the bottom of the wick. And then when you put it in the tin, just make sure you try to get it as centered as you can. Now, if you have, because these tabs are a little bit smaller than the wick sticker, if the tab is a little bit off of the sticker, like it's not in the middle of the circle sticker, you're gonna wanna make sure you're centering the metal tab itself, not the sticker. So just make sure the metal tab is centered and you'll be fine. So these are the little molds we'll be using for the flower succulents. I got these right off Amazon. They're really fun to use, so we'll be using these with a mixture of different colors. So you'll want a scale, and this is a thermometer I'll be using just because I normally use this, but you can use the one in the kit for, you know, if you're starting off and you don't have one on hand. All right, so we're gonna use our pitcher, zero out your scale. Now I already have the wax from the kit in this Presto pot. If you don't have a Presto pot, you can use wax in the pitcher, just in some water in a pot. It's called a double broiler. So once you get your wax, I'm just doing a few ounces for these little succulents because it's very small. I heat it up to 180 and it's going to cool down pretty fast. So you want to add the coloring about 170 to 180, and then add your fragrance about 150. So we're gonna be using the green coloring, and you're gonna want like a toothpick or something to poke the top with, just because they are sealed at first. All right, now add your dye by just doing a little bit of drops here and there. And you can always add more to make it darker. Obviously, the more liquid dye you add, the darker it's going to get. So now we're gonna add the essential oils from the kit, and we're doing lavender. I just love the lavender essential oil smell. I think it's gonna smell great on top of the candle. So you are gonna want to take off the little plastic piece, just kind of pop it off a little bit, not take it completely off, but kind of just lift it up so that way a little bit of the liquid can come out. And you're just gonna wanna add a little bit at a time. For essential oils, I add anywhere from 6 to 10%. I never go over 10 for essential oils. These essential oils are awesome and I love using them. I've never had issues with them with that fragrance load. So these popsicle sticks I talked about earlier, this is what you're going to use to stir up your fragrance. You want to make sure you really stir it up so the fragrance oil binds with the wax and you get a nice smell all the way around and not just blotches of smells. Now you're going to want to pour very slowly, so I let this cool to about 135 and then just pour very slowly into these succulent molds, that way you don't accidentally over pour them. Alright, so I already did the same thing for the red in the dye box for the flowers. So now we're going to pour the actual candle. So for this, you're going to want to do like a 10% fragrance load if you're using regular fragrance oil. This is Sea Salt Orchid from Candle Science. This is just something I had on hand. But you can use anywhere from 6 to 10% again for fragrance oil. I always use a little bit of a higher amount just to make the candle really strong. So for the tins, it's going to be 6 ounces of wax, and you're going to use a 10% fragrance load for that if you're following this formula. And then for my ovals, it's 12 ounces of wax. So you'd be using 1.2 ounces of fragrance oil. So as you can see, it cools down pretty quick once you add the oil. So you want to make sure you're not adding the fragrance too late, so that way it binds with the wax. And as a reminder, when you're pouring, be sure to pour very slow, so that way any bubbles are released and you don't get any, holes in the top of your candle. Alright, so we're going to use our wooden sticks here to help keep the wicks straight. Some of these wicks you don't have to if they're standing straight up, but most of them I do put the sticks on there just to make sure that they're nice and even. And then you're going to want to let this set until it completely dries. So everything is completely dried. It took about a couple hours. So with these, you're just going to pop them out. These are little roses. I just had this wax melt set and I had some extra wax from our little project here. So I thought I would pour them into the roses and add these to the candles. So I really love how the color came out. Sometimes with these color dyes, they can be blotchy or not as vibrant, and I think these turned out great. Alright, so on these, what I can say is just be very gentle. Pull back the sides as you do this, just to make sure they don't break. It really depends also on what kind of wax you're using. If you're using paraffin wax or more of a blend with paraffin, it is going to be easier to take out. I personally use soy wax. Those are the only two that I have familiarity with as far as durability. I know some people out there use coconut wax, but I know if the wax has more of a natural base to it, it is going to be a little harder to demold. So just a quick tip on that. So after you pull back the sides, you can just kind of push from behind and they will pop out for you. All right, so now we're going to put the wax melt little succulents on top of the candles. These are just a few that I have also made that I'm going to add. So I used a pink, and then the white one was just like a natural wax color. So when you're adding these to the top, what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna get a heat gun. I have a heat gun just for fixing the tops if there's any holes in the tops of my candles. This is also very helpful when you are trying to just melt the very top layer of your candle. You don't want to melt too far down to where the succulent will kind of fall into the wax. So you just want to melt it a little bit, just a thin layer on top. Alright, so now you're going to just take your little wax melt pieces and just place them where you'd like and kind of push down just a tiny bit, but not too much. It will stick if you melted the wax and gave it a nice layer. And you might have to move them around a little bit. I tend to be a little OCD, so I have to make it look perfect. But this is what the first one looks like with them all kind of pushed into the wax. Alright, so now we're going to do the second one with the tin. So again, just melt that thin layer on top. And then take these little roses and I'm just going to put them in a circle around the wick. And this is what they look like as they are drying here. And I went ahead and lit them so you guys can see what it looks like when they are lit. All right, so that was my video on how to make a succulent candle, you could call it. And here is the candle again. It's all dried and everything. I really like how it's different layers, kind of gives it more of a dimension. And then this is the tin that we did. And this tin again came in that kit. And you can put really any flower in here. But I really wanted to do the concrete one too because I feel like it already kind of looks like a planter. And a lot of my customers actually, when they burn through my candles, they will use these as planters. So I thought it would be a cute idea to put some flowers in there. I hope this video was helpful for all of you. If you do have any comments or questions, please put them in the comment box below. If you did like this video and it was helpful, please go ahead and hit the like button at the bottom of the video. This helps me know that this kind of content is helpful for all of you. Again, all the links will be in the description box below, and I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.